Hi guys! It's that magical time of year when I can finally switch over from my 2017 weeks to my 2018 version. So I'm just going to show you how I've set up my new weeks and also discuss a planner addict dilemma with you. So the old weeks has been living in this adorable My Little Pony Lyra Dory cover, which I'll link down below. And as you can see, it's had quite an adventurous year. I was using it as my personal planner, and I'm going to carry on using the 2018 version as my personal planner. That means everything in my life that's not work related. So let me just show you how I've set it up, and I'm also going to transfer it over into the cover. So I haven't put the pocket on the back just because I've got the cover for it, and so I don't need it. I mean the plastic cover that comes with it. So in here I've just got some Bonjour Cochon stickers, which I bought quite a while ago and decided to use in my weeks because they're very thin and so they won't bulk it up too much. And then I've also got this notebook which has my passwords in it. Okay, so this is the Magicant Map Weeks, in case you haven't seen it before. It's really cute and it's purple and green, which is a color combination that I like. So in here, I just decided to make this very happy, fun dashboard. This is all with Happy Planner stickers. So I put in some positive quotes and then just some nice stuff that will make me inspired every time I open this. And there's some more on here, and then this is a sticker that came with this week's. So here I've put "This is your year" because I thought that was a suitable message for 2018. This spread I'm planning to use just to circle when I change the ink in my fountain pen. I've decided that for my 2018 weeks that I want to use all kinds of different colors of ink so that I'll end up with a kaleidoscope of different colors as I flip through it. So my plan is to just kind of fill up a little bit of ink at a time so that I can change it quite often. In here I'm going to use this for tracking things like medicine that I take mostly, and maybe kind of tracking some other few things that can fit easily in this space. For the month on 2 pages, the way that I used it in 2017 varied quite a bit over the year. But the thing that has been most successful has been to use this again as a tracker for a couple of things, and also to track things like when I change the bin, when we change the sheets, just kind of household maintenance stuff that I can go back easily and check. And then down here I use this space to track online orders, and that is really convenient because I can just see at a glance when I ordered something and if it's been shipped out or not. So I'm going to continue using the monthly spread like that. So I've just set this up in advance a little bit and put on a couple of orders that I've already placed. Then for the weekly spread, which is really the core of how I use the planner, so as you can see I don't use the monthly spread for planning because I just don't feel like I need to, I guess, because this is more of a, I suppose it's kind of morphed more into a to-do list and tracker and note taker rather than an actual planner where I need to plan out events. I do all of that kind of stuff in my work planner. So for the weekly spread, this is where the first dilemma starts. Last year and the year before in my weeks, I used the left side for appointments and events and the right side for to-dos divided by day. So when I started setting this up, this is just what I did automatically. So if something is happening, like for example, someone is coming to pick up the bike from my office, which has been in my office for about 3 years because I'm terrified to cycle in London. So that's an event. Then we are thinking of going to Wales on the Friday, so that's another event. And then I've put some to-dos that I already know are going to be coming up on the right-hand side. But it occurred to me that maybe that's not the most productive use of the space, and maybe I should use it differently. So I was kind of inspired last night when I saw Yukiko Sakamura's video, 7 Ways to Use the Hobonichi Weeks, which I'll leave linked down below. It's a fantastic video. And she had all of these really interesting creative ways to use the weeks that had never occurred to me. And that made me think, maybe I'm not getting the best use out of my weeks after all. So I've got a few different possibilities for what to do with this. One is that I would just take over both sides and use them for to-dos, because there was, I guess, something of a dramatic change that happened over the course of the year in my 2017 weeks, which some of you know about. I was using it the way I described for most of the year: appointments and events on the left, to-dos on the right. Then in about July, August, I kind of had a week's crisis and I stopped using it for a while. Then I came back to it, but I started using it in a bit of a more random, organic way, where I would just use it as a catch-all. So like anything that came to my mind when I didn't have another planner to hand. So to-dos, shopping list, expenses, just, kind of random stuff, videos to make, and not necessarily organized by day, and not necessarily, taking care to put one type on the left and one type on the right, as in to-dos versus appointments. And that worked quite well. But then I think as the weeks went on, so you see that was September. If you can hear a commotion in the background, that's Tails, who's very excited about going out to the park with James. So then as the weeks went on, I somehow gravitated back towards using the right-hand side for to-dos and using the left-hand side for appointments. But then because I'm not really writing the appointments in here, I ended up with a lot of blank space here, as you can see here. So then I started using this for other random stuff, kind of like spillover from the right-hand side, and also for other random things like gratitude, wish list, expenses, again, just anything random that I needed to write down somewhere. Notes, this is the current week. So I'm kind of thinking that since I have found that it's more efficient to write all of my appointments and events in my work planner so that I have all of that in one place and I don't have to think, oh, do I need to check another planner to make sure that something isn't happening? I like having it all in the cousin, even though that's my work planner. I figure any appointment or event, really it makes sense for it to be there, so that that's the go-to place that I look if I ever need to know when something's happening, right? So because of that, I feel like this left-hand side was getting underused. So now I'm thinking, should I just have the to-dos extend over both sides? But then where would I put random things that sometimes come up? So I'm thinking another option would be to keep this for to-dos and then keep the left-hand side blank for anything else, notes, random thoughts, gratitude, expenses. I should qualify that by saying that I have a dedicated gratitude journal and I have a dedicated expenses tracker book. So this would just be if I want to write something down when one of those planners isn't to hand, because, for example, because I keep them at home. So if I'm out and I want to write down an expense, put it in here rather than thinking, oh, wait till I get home and I'll remember, which usually doesn't happen. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is just changing it around completely and using this for to-dos and then using this freeform for notes, and it like is an ongoing to-do list that's not divided by day. So I'm really not sure how I'm going to do that, and that's freaking me out because I start using it tomorrow. So I really kind of need to decide, and this first week I've already kind of set up in the way that I've been used to using it, so I would have to change it for after that. But so these are my thoughts on how to use this weekly spread. I kind of feel like because of inertia, because I'm so used to thinking of the right-hand side as my daily to-dos, that I'll keep using it like that. But really, when we go onto the notes pages, I'll mention this again, maybe it would make more sense to use this just as a free form, a page of notes that can last me the whole week. Okay, so now on to the notes pages. So this is one of the amazing things about the weeks, is that it's got all these note pages. I didn't get the weeks mega this time, partly because I liked this cover and they didn't have that in the mega version, partly because I thought I wouldn't really need it because last year, as you can see, I've still got quite a few blank pages in my weeks. So I decided that probably using it for the purposes that I use it for, I wouldn't need 200 notes pages. And also it was partly because the weeks didn't come out until November and I couldn't wait that long to order my new one. But I like the idea of having 200 note pages because that means that, you know, it's so reassuring. It means you'd never have to worry about running out. But for the time being, I've got 70 notes pages. So I feel a bit like they should last the year with no problem, but I have to be a little bit careful of what I do with them. So how I did this last year was, at the beginning of the year, I set up a number of collections and I estimated how many pages each one should take. So I had YouTube video ideas here, and I gave myself, I think, 4 pages for that. Then I had a list of films and TV to watch, then a wish list, coupon codes, websites, planner notes, general notes, and I had each one mapped out so that I decided, okay, the general notes are going to start on page whatever it was. And then I ended up with a lot of blank pages through the year because in some cases I didn't use all the pages that I'd allocated. And that really started to bug me because then I felt like, you know, I had these random blank pages interspersed throughout the planner. And as the year went on and I started to use this less systematically and more as just a random ongoing note taker, I didn't like having all these blank pages and just different random bits of things on a page that had been allocated originally to something else. So I decided I'm not going to do this next year. Next year I'm just going to use this as a running notes list, and I'll write down anything in the order that it happens, and then if I need to refer back to something, I'll put a note in the index later. That was what I was thinking. But then I immediately, last night, kind of messed that up by making this list of food staples that I think we should always have in the house. And that took up quite a bit of a page, and I thought, okay, it would sort of be a shame aesthetically to then go on to make some kind of random notes about something completely different on the same page. It might just sort of turn a bit messy. So then I started thinking, maybe I should use this like kind of as a halfway house. So instead of allocating a number of pages per section, I should make one page and devote it to a particular topic. So let's say this is food to always have in the house, and I'll leave that blank in case I think of anything more that goes under that heading. And then this one should be, let's say, TV shows to watch, and I'll leave one page for that. And then the next time I think of a topic, I'll make a page for that. And then just go on, like work it on a page by page basis. So one thing that troubles me is that I quite often would end up running out of space for my to-dos in the weekly pages. And then in that case, if I just wanted to make a list of all of the mundane things that I needed to get done in a day, like this, for example, I would just go to one of the notes pages and put it there, or all of these. These are not the sort of things that you need to look back on later. So having a list like this interspersed with something kind of more long-term, like inks that I have, I felt like that would be a bit messy as well. So then I was thinking, well, maybe I should kind of allocate, let's say, the second half of the book just for daily to-do lists. And that way they would all be in one place. And then my more long-term collections would be in the first half of the book, and that should probably be enough for that. And then I just got really confused. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I should leave this right side of the page in the weekly spread for the daily to-dos. And there's probably enough room if I do that for the week, because I don't need to do that every single day. Some days, you know, I get home, I don't feel worried about having a million tasks to do, and I just do what I have to do and I don't need to make a list. But other days I feel really overwhelmed in the evening when I get home, and so I just like to make a whole list of everything I'm going to need to do for the rest of the night. So I was thinking I could do that here and then save this just for collection, so I don't put any of those daily notes here, and then having one topic per page would work out, if that makes sense. So that's the dilemma. Those are the only options that I've considered. I know that there are lots of other ways that I could use the weeks, but I feel like I want to limit it just to those because I'm already having enough trouble deciding what to do. So I guess it's basically the issue of, should all of the to-dos just be restricted to here, and then I just leave this note section for lists that are more long-term that I can refer back to later, and I'd be able to find them because it would just be one topic per page. And anything that feels more ephemeral should go on here. Or should I divide it halfway through so that I have, like, let's say an ephemeral random notes half which I can just write down anything in any order and not worry about it looking pretty, and then have the first half devoted to lists. Or not worry about it and just use this randomly and not be too precious about it. That is my dilemma. And you know, the reason I'm thinking about this is that I know that it kind of bugged me doing the way that I did it this year, and I don't want to do that again, where I allocated a whole bunch of pages for one particular topic. I would rather have one page for a topic, and if that gets filled up and I need more on that topic, just start a new page somewhere else later. And then, you know, use the index to say, I don't know, like TV shows to watch, pages 3 and 47 or something. So that is how it stands. It's kind of nerve-wracking because I would like to hit the ground running with this new Weeks and know exactly how I'm going to use it and not have to decide. I mean, I guess I could just start using it and see what happens organically and not stress about it too much, because at the end of the day, you know, I want it to look all beautiful and pretty now, but by the time I've been using it for a year, it's probably going to be a big mess no matter what I do. So maybe I just shouldn't worry about it so much. But anyway, that's it. That is my preliminary setup and current dilemma about my 2018 Hobonichi Weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back again soon. Bye!